I cracked the code on how to study the subject I literally hated and still pull off insane grades. When you hate a subject, what you need is a complete reset, and that is possible through a neutral zone approach. This isn't some cheesy motivational crap. It's the strategy top leaders and CEOs use when they're stuck, because this approach helps them navigate smoothly from old to new system of behaviors, and trust me, if it works for them, it's gonna work for you as well. Here's how it works. The first step is super simple, but it's crazy powerful if you follow it the right way. The first rule is you have to stop telling yourself that you hate the subject. Hate is a distraction. You need to approach the subject like a reviewer. No emotions, be completely unbothered. You're here to simply observe and review. You're here to get neutral. That's where the transformation begins. Once you are done reviewing the entire subject, you need to make a table with 3 columns. Consider this as your map to get out of the mess. Column 1 is about topics which doesn't make you scream. Basically, anything that doesn't feel like a personal attack on your brain cells belongs here. Topics you find easy to grasp and able to understand with very little effort. Column 2 is like IKEA furniture. You know what to do and how to assemble if you put some effort into it. In column 3, be brutally honest. Write down every soul-crushing, brain-breaking, hair-pulling part of the subject. Because of this column, you tend to avoid column 1 and 3 altogether. Don't worry, get ready, because we will flip the script in step 2, and this will become your glow-up column. Moving on to step 2. Let's get to the point. Remember column C from step 1. The column that makes you question your life choices. We are gonna gamify this nightmare. We will turn this academic torture column into your personal playground. The hack to learn anything faster is through simplifying it. And that is exactly what we're doing by breaking down column C even further and study it like a game. Because we are going to target and focus only on actions that get the result. Level 1 is your warm-up. Low-key, no pressure level. Open your book. Write down key concepts. Get bird's eye view of what you are about to tackle. List questions you need to answer and start learning one key concept at a time. In level 1, you scored 100 points. Now, don't tell me you don't have time for this. Last week, you watched 47 TikToks in a row about a cat that could open doors. Moving on to level 2, this is where the real grind starts. Grab flashcards, or that one overpriced app you downloaded to be productive, but only open once. Write down or highlight the most important parts. Start connecting the dots or linking with the parts you studied in level 1 and start quizzing yourself until you are fully thorough with the important parts. Once you are able to fully remember level 2 and explain it as if you were giving TED Talk, then you get 300 points. And if you're thinking, this is boring, let me remind you, so is explaining to your parents why you flunked. So, level 3 is the boss battle. That one topic you've been avoiding harder than your notifications from Duolingo. Break it into pieces, treat them like mini battles. Solve one hard topic bit by bit, then tackle a whole section. You earn a solid for 100 points. You think you cannot do this? I remember my classmate who stayed up all night binge watching a 16-episode K-drama. Now their GPA has turned into the biggest tragic plot twist than the K-drama they were watching. Research shows that when you reward yourself after you accomplish something, your brain starts to automatically push you to accomplish more. Every time you reward yourself after studying, this reward causes your brain to release dopamine, and that's a feel-good chemical. Remember how amazing you felt when you got a like on Insta? Or remember that day when you found that forgotten old cash in your pocket? The reason is dopamine. This feel-good chemical is responsible for making you feel so damn good. There's this bougie part of your brain called the nucleus accumbens. It's your brain's reward center. When it gets a hit of dopamine, it starts throwing a mini party up there, and your brain loves patterns. If you keep rewarding yourself after studying, it'll start craving the process. This is the exact strategy video game companies use to keep you hooked. You keep playing for points. You keep playing like crazy to unlock levels. Because your brain gets a hit of dopamine every time you unlock a game level, and this dopamine hit keeps you addicted to gaming. Okay, now let's get back to work. Remember the points you collected at level 1, level 2, and level 3. Every time you accumulate 500 points, start rewarding yourself with something you love. The reward can be anything, like a fun outing day with your friend, buying your favorite stuff. Pairing your study goal with rewards increases their impact. Rewarding yourself will activate neural pathways, which will create a lasting positive effect, and this feel-good effect will make you want to chase and crush even more study goals. With Progress Tracking Milestone Map, you are able to see your visible growth. It's a total game changer. You are able to look at the map and realize how far you've come. You're literally able to see yourself level up, and trust me, seeing how far you have come, that hits different. That sense of achievement, it's very addicting, and it makes you want to keep going. And here's the best part, when you know what you've already completed, you can figure out what actually needs your time and energy. No more wasting time on stuff that's already handled. With that kind of clarity, you can lock in and focus on the parts that really needs a revisit. Having a visual map of your progress is like clearing up a mental traffic jam. No matter how hard you study the subject, when you don't have an idea about how much of a progress you have made, then you will feel like you are drowning in too much information. It's all just piling up, and you don't even know where to start. Once you track your progress properly, you will be able to be much more organized. You're not sitting there second-guessing yourself anymore. Instead of worrying about the entire subject, you've got the whole subject broken down. You know exactly what's done, what's still on your plate, and what you need to tackle next. And when you're in control like that, it takes away all that hate and frustration towards the subject. You're not overwhelmed anymore. You're just focused on crushing the subject. The thing about the subject you hate is, you avoid it like the plague. You hate it so much that you begin to ghost the subject, but then you wake up one day, and damn. The exam season hits you and you're suddenly forcing yourself to study for 8 hours a day like your life depends on it. Here's the thing, when you force yourself to do something you hate for hours at a stretch, you start hating it even more. It's like making yourself drink a gallon of ginger juice all at once. I mean, in reality, that's fatal. So similarly, a forced study marathon is a recipe for burnout. Instead of going full beast mode for 8 or 10 hours and giving up on day 2, you have to get smarter. And I'm not talking about manifesting good grades smart. I'm talking about consistent small steps. Imagine an architect building a 100-story skyscraper. Do you think the architect sits down on day 1 and says, "All right, guys, let's finish this bad boy in today's time"? No way. They build brick by brick, day by day. Same applies to you and that subject you hate. Instead of forcing yourself into 8-hour marathons, commit to just 40 minutes a day. That's it. Here's why 40 minutes a day is game changer. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in life. It builds momentum. When you study every day, even if it's a little, before you know it, you have tackled the whole subject. What you guys usually do is, you study on day 1, you quit on day 2, then you find motivation again on day 11. And, surprise, by the end of the month you've reached nowhere. So, here's the plan. Write this down. Set a realistic target, something you can finish and recall in 40 minutes. Now do it every single day. No excuses, no procrastination traps. Remember that small progress every day is better than zero progress in 10 days. You don't need to move mountains overnight, just lay the bricks. Because by the end of the month, you'll either be 1,200 minutes ahead or exactly where you started. So start building those grades brick by brick. You've got this. Now go study and don't forget to subscribe.